Firstly, with the Systemology book, at some point you should go through it, but the 7 stages are define, and that is just about identifying what are the first 10 to 15 systems that you're going to create first, because you have to start somewhere. You can't systemize everything. And the good thing is, though, just because you don't systemize something doesn't mean it's going to magically stop happening in your business. Your business is already working. So we apply the 80-20 in this step number 1 to say, what are the mission critical systems that help us deliver a core product or service? So we'll explore a little bit with that again towards the end. We might even do the first example in the book, maybe with either Paul, Elizabeth, or Michael. We'll see how we go. But first, we just need to go, where are we starting? The next step is assign. Assign is about thinking of the systems that we just identified, who knows how to do that task? Where does the knowledge already exist? So Jenny already knows how to answer the phone or issue out an invoice. John knows how to set up the truck or issue out quotes and things like that. So after you figure out what your 10 to 15 systems are, where you're going to start, then you say, who already knows how to do them? So that's step number 2. Step number 3 is extract. Extract is just, how do we get that knowledge out of their head in the easiest possible way? Because most people don't like documentation and most people are busy, especially your best team members, business owners and key tradespeople. They're busy. And the last thing that they're going to want to do is sit down and document their process. So we look at, how do we make that easy? And Elizabeth already gave us a hint on that. It has to do with finding our systems champion and making documentation a 2-person job. So there's the person who knows how to do it. And then there's the second person who records it and potentially creates some of the documentation and some of the training. So that's step number 3. It's extracting the IP out of the brain of your best team members. Step number 4 is organize. That's, once you've got this info, where is it going to be stored and how do you make it easily accessible? A central location that everybody knows, this is where I go to find systems and processes. Those types of resources are essential, particularly for your new apprentices and things like that, where before they go out on a job or they get started with you, they might review a handful of key processes. And then, just like a lot of new apprentices, they're sometimes embarrassed to ask for help if it's something that they think they should know or that they've been taught before. And that's usually when big mistakes happen, because they think, oh, I was showed how to do that, I should know how to do that. And then they don't ask the question. But if they've got a resource where they know they can go, they can then start to solve their own problems and troubleshoot things themselves a little bit, and at least have a shot at solving their own problems. So the first step is define. Second step is assign. Third step is extract. Fourth step is organize. And that's, like I said, organizing that knowledge. The fifth step is integrate. And that is, how do we get the team on board? For those team members who've created that little black box, how do we let them know that this isn't a risk to them and that we're trying to help them do their job better? And a lot of that has to do with framing and things like letting them understand that, hey, when you go away on holiday and I'm calling you up every second day to ask you, where is this job up to? Where are the tools for this? Hey, have we issued the invoice out on that? That's not cool. If we can systemize parts of your role, we can have other team members step in while you're on leave so you can have a proper holiday. And when you come back, you don't come back to a mountain of work and you spend the next 3 weeks catching up for the 3 days that you had off. So it's little tweaks like that, and letting team members know that the way they work up in your organization is by delegating down. So there are certain tasks that they're doing that aren't the best use of their time. If they can codify and document that and delegate it to less skilled team members, which typically are lower cost, that doesn't make them less valuable. That makes them more valuable, because now we know that they can handle higher and higher quality tasks. So it's more than that, but that's an important piece to this integrate stage, is really getting the team on board. And your systems champion does things like showcasing systems on team meetings, or celebrating system wins, or sharing new systems, or putting QR codes all over every piece of equipment that when scanned, it links to a certain system, and that system shows you how to set up that piece of equipment. This whole idea of integration is, how do we make it easy? How do we make it part of the way that you do work? How do you make it fun? How do you make them not think that it's a threat and realize it's good for them? And it actually adds job security for them, because the business operates more efficiently, makes less errors, and therefore that's a better place for them to work. So that's that step number 5, integrate. Step number 6 is scale. And scale is just about, what systems do you need to scale your business? Because in step number 1, define, all we did was identify the first 10 to 15 systems. But in step number 6, we think, what are the other important systems? We still apply the 80-20, but we apply it in each department. What are the most important systems in finance? It's payroll, it's paying bills, it's creating a monthly cash flow report. Whatever it is for your business, we do that thinking in each department. What is it in HR? Is it recruitment and onboarding? And we apply the 80-20 to go, what are the handful of critical systems in each department? Once you identify those and you start to get those documented, the aim is to reach a point that we call minimum viable systems. And that's where you have a collection of systems in all aspects of your business, and systems reach every department and every team member, so that they start to realize that this is how we do things here. And then the final step is optimize. Now, what makes Systemology unique is optimize comes last, because up until this point, we're only capturing what you are currently doing, not what you would like to be doing. We figure out, how are we currently issuing out invoices? Who does that the best? Let's capture that and bring everybody up to that standard, rather than thinking, let's re-engineer the entire invoicing process because I want to use some new fancy piece of software that I've just seen and we're not using it yet, but let's design it the way that I would like it to be. In Systemology, we capture what we're doing and we focus on repeatability first. And then that creates space for your highest team members, once we get there, to then think about re-engineering the parts that aren't working. So Systemology is about creating a baseline. And optimize, being the last step in the process, is let's install a dashboard. Let's look at key numbers that relate to those key systems, and then we identify where the system is broken. We don't have enough leads. Let's focus on our lead generation systems. We have a problem with our sales. Let's focus on our sales and conversion type systems. We have a problem with clients not managing expectations correctly and them getting frustrated. Okay, let's focus in on our onboarding systems. But all of that happens a little bit further down the line. And it's those 7 steps that you go through with Systemology that creates the result.